What you are looking at is the most expensive liquid on Earth, worth $39 million per gallon. This facility houses over 50,000 Deathstalker scorpions, and every single one is a living venom factory. Each scorpion produces less than 2 milligrams of venom per extraction, barely a single visible droplet on a glass slide. It would take roughly 2.5 million individual milkings to fill a single gallon. From cancer treatment to pain medication, this venom saves lives, and every drop begins right here. We'll follow every step of the journey, from desert hunting to pharmaceutical vial. The Deathstalker scorpion thrives in the deserts of North Africa and the Middle East. Field teams hunt at night using ultraviolet light. These scorpions glow an eerie green under UV. Some teams spend weeks in remote desert regions, camping near known scorpion habitats during peak season. That fluorescence is a mystery scientists still don't fully understand after decades of research, but it makes them remarkably easy to spot in total darkness. A single collector can capture between 40 and 60 scorpions per night in productive territory. By dawn, hundreds of specimens are ready for transport to the breeding facility. Every specimen is tagged with GPS coordinates, capture date, and estimated maturity, data that follows it for life. The journey from desert to laboratory takes less than 12 hours to keep the scorpions healthy. Inside the breeding facility, conditions are precisely controlled: 32 degrees Celsius, 60% humidity. Each scorpion lives in its own individual enclosure. They're cannibalistic and would kill each other in shared spaces. Automated misting systems maintain humidity within 2% of target. Desert scorpions dehydrate fast in captivity. They're fed live crickets twice a week. A single facility goes through over 100,000 crickets per on. That stinger delivers venom designed to paralyze prey in milliseconds. The same compound worth millions. The crickets themselves must be gut-loaded with calcium and vitamins. The scorpion's diet directly affects venom quality. At any given time, this facility maintains a colony of over 50,000 breeding scorpions. Female Deathstalkers carry up to 35 babies on their backs for weeks before the young disperse. It takes 12 to 18 months before juveniles mature enough for their first venom extraction. Separating juveniles too early reduces survival rates. Too late, and the mother may cannibalize her own offspring. The difference is dramatic. Adults are 5 times the size and produce 10 times the venom of juveniles. This is where the real work begins. The extraction laboratory, where venom meets voltage. Each scorpion is individually restrained, the tail positioned to expose the telson, the venom gland at the tip. This custom-designed restraint took 3 years to develop. It immobilizes without injuring the animal. Those 2 tiny pores at the stinger tip are the only exit point for one of nature's most complex chemical cocktails. A precisely calibrated electrical pulse, just 3 milliamps, triggers the venom glands to release their contents. There it is, less than 2 milligrams of liquid worth more per ounce than gold, platinum, or diamonds combined. The pulse must be precisely 3 milliamps at 12 volts. Too strong, and it damages the venom glands permanently. The entire milking process takes about 15 seconds per scorpion, but preparation takes much longer. 8 technicians working simultaneously can process roughly 400 scorpions per shift. A good session yields about 16 milligrams across 8 extractions, worth roughly $112,000. Every extraction is immediately transferred into cryogenic vials and flash frozen to preserve the delicate proteins. At -80 degrees Celsius, these fragile proteins remain biologically stable for years without any degradation. Each batch is barcoded and tracked from the moment it leaves the scorpion to the moment it ships. Between each extraction, the entire workstation is sterilized. Cross-contamination would ruin entire batches. After milking, each scorpion returns to its enclosure. they can be milked again in 2 to 3 weeks. The rotation system ensures no scorpion is over. Milked, stressed animals produce lower quality venom. Every scorpion has a digital profile, tracking its age, health, breeding history, and lifetime venom yield. The colony database tracks over 200 variables per scorpion, one of the most detailed invertebrate datasets ever compiled. But raw venom is just the beginning. What makes it worth millions is what is hidden inside. Welcome to the Purification Lab, where crude venom becomes pharmaceutical-grade compound. High-performance liquid chromatography separates the venom into its individual molecular components. Scorpion venom contains over 200 individual compounds. Each peak on the screen is a different molecule. The machine automatically collects each fraction into separate tubes, sorting molecules by size and charge. Gel filtration separates peptides by molecular size. Larger proteins elute first, while small peptides travel slower through the column. From a single batch of crude venom, scientists can isolate dozens of unique peptides. Mass spectrometry confirms the molecular weight of each peptide, ensuring purity down to the atomic level. This is chlorotoxin, the compound that binds exclusively to brain tumor cells, leaving healthy tissue untouched. Pharmaceutical companies pay over $7,000 per milligram for research-grade chlorotoxin. Chlorotoxin's unique structure, 36 amino acids locked by 4 disulfide bonds, gives it extraordinary stability and specificity. This tiny vial contains roughly 5 milligrams, extracted from the venom of over 2,000 individual scorpions. Centrifugation further separates cellular debris from the pure peptide solution, spinning at 15,000 RPM. Sterile filtration removes any remaining particles. The final liquid must be optically clear. Bioactivity assays verify that purified peptides still function after processing. Dead protein is worthless, regardless of purity. From crude venom to purified peptide, the entire purification process takes 72 hours per batch. Every batch undergoes gel electrophoresis, confirming the peptide profile matches pharmaceutical specifications. Those distinct bands confirm purity. If any contamination shows, the entire batch is reprocessed. Green wells mean the peptide is bioactive. Every well in this plate must glow, or the batch fails. Quality control. The purification vault stores over 3 years of accumulated venom inventory, millions of dollars in frozen peptides. But liquid venom is fragile. The next step transforms it into something that can travel the world. Lyophilization removes all water under vacuum, turning liquid venom into stable freeze, dried powder. This powder can survive at room temperature for decades without losing potency. Critical for global shipping. Every milligram is weighed to 6 decimal places. At these prices, a spilled vial costs thousands of dollars. Triple-sealed vials go into temperature. Controlled shipping containers rated for 72 hours in transit. Dry ice and real-time GPS temperature monitors ensure the cargo stays below -20 degrees from door to door. A single pallet leaving this facility carries venom worth over $2 million. Specialized pharmaceutical couriers handle every international shipment. Standard logistics companies refuse to transport live biological material. On the receiving end, pharmaceutical researchers verify every vial before it enters clinical testing. In cancer research labs, chlorotoxin is being tested as a tumor paint, literally making cancer cells glow during surgery. Chlorotoxin binds to a receptor found almost exclusively on glioma tumor cells. Healthy brain tissue is invisible. Surgeons using venom-derived tumor paint can see cancer boundaries invisible to the naked eye. This technology could transform brain cancer survival rates, and it all started with a scorpion sting. Beyond cancer, other scorpion peptides show powerful antimicrobial activity against drug-resistant bacteria. Pain studies require rigorous ethical oversight. Every experiment must be approved by institutional review boards. That clear zone means the venom peptide killed every bacterium it touched, including strains resistant to antibiotics. Another peptide fraction blocks specific pain receptors, potentially replacing opioids without the addiction risk. Over a dozen pharmaceutical companies are currently licensing scorpion venom peptides. The demand far exceeds supply. The pipeline from scorpion milking to FDA-approved medication typically takes 12 to 15 years and over $1 billion back on the factory floor. The pressure to increase production never stops. Senior extractors have performed over 100,000 individual milkings. Their hands never shake. These specialists train for 6 months before they're allowed to handle the most venomous species, unsupervised. A single sting from a deathstalker won't kill a healthy adult, but it delivers excruciating pain for hours. Emergency antivenin and medical protocols are always within arm's reach. Stings happen roughly once per month. The pain peaks within minutes and can last 6 to 12 hours. Most extractors say you never quite get used to it. Maintaining colony health is just as important as extraction. Sick scorpions produce weaker venom. Scorpions must molt 6 to 8 times before reaching full adulthood. Each molt is a critically vulnerable period when mortality spikes. Regular veterinary inspections catch parasites and infections before they spread through the colony. Behind the scenes, water purification and climate control systems cost over $500,000 per year to operate. The entire operation spans over 4,000 square meters, all dedicated to one tiny creature. Daily production targets demand 400 to 600 extractions every day, 7 days a week. Real-time dashboards track every metric: yield per scorpion, batch purity, colony mortality, staff throughput. Every shift begins with a safety briefing, scorpion species assignments, extraction targets, and antivenin inventory checks. Every transfer between labs requires double authentication. This venom is more valuable than gold per ounce. Despite all the digital tracking, paper backup logs are maintained. Redundancy protects irreplaceable data. 6 lyophilizers run around the clock. Each cycle takes 48 hours to convert liquid venom to stable powder. The transformation is complete. Golden liquid becomes white powder that holds its potency indefinitely. From golden liquid to white powder, the same venom, transformed for global distribution. Final quality testing reconstitutes the powder. It must dissolve completely and show identical bioactivity to the original. These chromatograms must match precisely, proving the freeze-drying process preserved every critical peptide. Final packaging happens in a Class 100 cleanroom, fewer than 100 airborne particles per cubic foot. Tamper-evident seals and holographic labels prevent counterfeiting. At these prices, fraud is a constant threat. Every label contains a unique QR code linking to the complete extraction and purification history of that specific batch. 5 milligrams, 2,000 scorpion milkings, 72 hours of purification, value over $35,000. Each shipping container is custom built for its destination, flight time, ambient temperature, customs delays all factored in. This shipment heading to a research hospital in Boston carries venom worth over $500,000. International shipments require sites permits, pharmaceutical export licenses, and customs pre-clearance in both countries. From one facility in North Africa, scorpion venom reaches research centers in over 30 countries. Clinical trials using scorpion-derived compounds are currently underway at major cancer centers worldwide. The end goal: an FDA-approved injectable that turns scorpion venom into a standardized cancer treatment. Remarkable that an animal feared for thousands of years now represents one of medicine's greatest hopes. At the end of each shift, stations are fully sterilized. This process starts fresh every single morning. At night, the facility takes on an otherworldly glow, 50,000 scorpions fluorescing under ultraviolet light. Scientists believe the fluorescence may help scorpions detect UV light, allowing them to avoid moonlit exposure to predators. 50,000 tiny creatures, each one carrying a chemical arsenal that pharmaceutical companies are racing to decode. The Deathstalker doesn't know it is producing medicine. It is simply doing what evolution perfected over 400 million years. 2 milligrams at a time, multiplied 2.5 million times, to fill a single gallon worth $39 million. This industry barely existed 20 years ago. Today it supports research that could cure diseases affecting millions. The global scorpion venom market is projected to exceed $180 million by 2030. Early clinical results show chlorotoxin-based tumor paint improving surgical precision by over 40%. Every new batch of venom could contain the peptide that unlocks the next breakthrough in human medicine. From scorching desert to sterile laboratory to hospital bedside, this is the most expensive supply chain on the planet. Tomorrow morning, it all begins again. 400 extractions before sunset, 600 extractions, 1,200 milligrams, over $8 million in raw venom. That is a single week. Every vial on this table passed through 50,000 scorpions, 8 technicians, 3 laboratories, and 1 extraordinary process. $39 million per gallon. The most expensive factory on Earth runs on creatures small enough to fit in your hand. If this process fascinated you, subscribe and turn on notifications. We take you inside a new factory every week. Next time, we go inside the horseshoe crab blood factory, where blue blood worth $60,000 per quart saves millions of lives.